Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. During my videos I spoke about the national conscience, the so-called national conscience, which is, it's something that you learn if your nation does a good job, your elites do a good job, to keep you informed of past events that left an imprint on your nation and your culture, and they're good or bad influences. That means the country will always remember, the nation, those countries that intervened and helped you when you were in need as well, and they will keep us alive those times, or at least in your memory, alive when you needed help and the other people did not provide you the help, or straight attacked you and caused destruction and problems. And if that was a pattern, that's going to be imprinted in the person's conscious and therefore in the national conscious. In this case we have Greece. I mean, I can talk about this much longer to express exactly what I want to express. I try to make a little summary here about the national conscious, and each country should have and has a national conscience. There are countries who that hate other countries because of that national conscience, because they say, well, look what they did to our ancestors. And through education, politicians, mass media, and schools, that's kept alive, or at least kept over there. Hey, this is what happened. Hey, this is what happened on numerous occasions. In the past, that country, that nation did this to me. Good things, the other one did bad things, or, alternated. In this case, we have Greece and United States of America. You might think that Greece and United States of America, I'm talking about politically, they go hand in hand, they're friends, they're democracy and so on. No, it was not like that. Remember when the three powers after the Second World War, three, actually were two only, but they dragged, sorry to say it, Great Britain in for its still ability to dictate here and there. But it was like to have two votes versus one being Stalin, the other one the United States and Great Britain. Anyway, they decided, the three of them, they decided the spheres of influence in Europe and around the world. That's what they did. They sat at a table on Yalta, Malta, and Potsdam, and they said, okay, let's talk. And they took the map and they looked at the map and said, okay, after we beat our common enemy, we're going to divide the world in our terms. This is our part, this is our part, this is our... And they did it by percentage. And it took, let's say, Greece. I'm not going to give you... this is an example. I can't remember exactly the percentages, but that's what they did. I can tell you with Romania. They said, okay, Romania will have 90% influence, Soviet influence, and 10% will have Western influence. Okay, yes, we agree for them to have elections after the Second World War, and whomever comes over there, we're not gonna get too involved in those. That means we're gonna pass them to you. That was the problem with Poland, when, remember, Truman told Stalin, hey, the Pope is concerned with the Catholic population in Poland. He suggests that you should just take it easy with them, you know what I mean? And Stalin turned around and looked at him and said, how many divisions does the Pope have in Poland? And Truman was like, okay. So that guy was talking only from the real standpoint, which is this and this and that. If you have those, you don't need to look at anybody and say, hey, you know what, how about this? No, you do it. So how many divisions does the Pope have? 0. So shut the fuck up, move on. So the same it was with Greece. Greece, I think it was 50-50. And it was, okay, it should be 50 influence. I think it was Greece and Turkey, or it was I give you this, you give me that. That's how they talked. There are books about it. You give me this, I give you that, as influence. And they will, fight behind the scene who's gonna screw the other country. So in this case, Greece was left and became, it was a communist at the beginning, I think. Then the Brits intervened over, or changed the government, did some coup d'etats over there. There was like that, They were fighting a proxy war behind, everybody was friends at that time. But they were not friends. And remember, that's how it was. And then now we came to this point where the Greeks do not forget, or some of them, that in 1973 the US got involved, and how do you call it, regime change in Greece, and changed the regime, or at least they helped. And that's how they do it. And it's they don't like when other countries interfere in their internal political affairs, but they were in everybody else's business. How is that? Because is a lot of difference between Stalin and these guys. But they tell you that, and this. 3 points: muscle, balls, and a, you know what I mean, baseball bat, if you thought of something else. So, Greek protesters burn US flag on Polytechnic uprising anniversary. So this comes from the Arab media outlet Al Mayadin from today. Today is what, the 18th of November 2022. Thousands of Greeks roamed the country's cities, including the capital Athens, where protesters burnt the American flag before heading to the US embassy, which they accuse of backing the military junta in 1973. Greek protesters burned the American flag on Tuesday during popular marches on the streets of the capital Athens in commemoration of the 49th anniversary of the student uprising against the US-backed military rule in 1973. The demonstrators culminated in front of the US Embassy in protest of Washington's support for the Greek military dictatorship during the Cold War, with protesters chanting slogans demanding the exit of NATO from Ukraine. Now, I don't know if that's accurate, remember, but this is an Arab news outlet. The marches were led by a group of demonstrators carrying blood-stained Greek flags, while about 5,000 police officers were deployed on the streets of the capital following confrontation with protesters. Some 5,500 people marched in the capital under the supervision of security forces as violence often broke out of the sidelines, the police said. And there are videos, a lot of videos here, and you can go on Twitter and see them. Thousands of people demonstrated yearly on the anniversary of the deadly crackdown on a 1973 student revolt against a US-backed junta. Past demonstrations have turned violent and have involved destruction of property, the US Embassy in Greece claimed in a statement. And I'm quoting again: the embassy has advised its personnel to avoid the areas of the demonstrations and will close early, it said. The annual protest marked the day when at least 24 people were killed at the Athens Polytechnic University when the junta sent troops and police forces against a pro-democracy student uprising. It's very interesting. They were pro-democracy and Americans backed the military, according to these guys, right? The Greeks know best. We just what other people write about them, right? The brutal crackdown was a shock to Europe, and it considered to have broken the dictatorship's grip on power, leading months later to the restoration of democracy. Each year, the demonstrators hold the blood-stained Greek flag that flew that night over the Polytechnic Iron Gate, which was crushed by a tank. In recent years, protesters have used the anniversary to protest against the harsh austerity measures imposed on Greece by its international creditors after the global financial crisis. Yeah, if you're not self-sufficient and you always think that you are an interdependent economy and finance system, then you depend on those motherfuckers. And when you're not productive because they tell you what to do with your economy, I know that from Romania, when Romania entered the European Union, they were told, okay, now you had wine. All right, regarding the wine, you're not gonna make wine as France makes, because you're gonna create problems. So you're gonna make only this amount of wine. About eggs, no, eggs will be this country. You got your oil industry, well, you're gonna do it, but it's gonna be supervised and controlled by this company. That's how it was done. Don't believe me? I don't know. Speak of the Romanian. I'm here. All right, just saying. Last year, demonstrations saw around 20,000 people taking part in Athens, with another 14,000 in Thessaloniki. This year, the commemoration began with a wreath-laying ceremony at the Athens Polytechnic University, the site of the bloody incident on November 17, 1973. when tanks stormed the gates to crush the student uprising that heralded the end of the military junta. On Thursday, Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis, whose government is embroiled in a wiretapping scandal, said that uprising established the most complete democracy of country has ever known. Yeah, okay, good for you, good for you. So they don't forget this kind of things. So people know that certain things were supported by certain interests, and even if, for instance, if you ask people here, what are you talking about? Greece? No, maybe you know about Greece, 2-3 things, and I don't blame them. But it's just that that's why when you say, well, what did you do to the Bin Laden? What did we do with those Arabs? They're crazy. They just hate our democracy and our freedoms and our this and that. Well, maybe you should just look back and see what happened in the Middle East, and maybe supporting certain dictators over there and a certain country over there to fuck everybody up over there. Maybe that played a role in the hatred that is fomented and is alive in some groups. I don't say everybody hates everybody, but he's just saying. So then when you ask, what's wrong with those? They're crazy and they believe in those virgins. That's why they blow themselves up. Well, really? I mean, yeah, you can say that because the people that you target with that kind of garbage are eating it like little hungry fish. Hop, 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 immediately jump on the lure. But that's not the case. There are some people who really think that way and so on. But on the other hand is that exasperation that they see that these people are supported by those guys who tell, oh, we're the country of democracy and freedom and love and all that, but you support these dictators that are tyrants and are pushing us down. How is that? They see that hypocrisy. But we don't see it. We say, no, we're a country of, we want to do that. Well, yeah, you want me to give you a list of how many dictators this country supported and put in place? And the juntas? Not only in Greece. South America is a great example. And look at Pinochet, for instance, one example. Look at that guy, and then what? They tried Pinochet. Yeah, where did Pinochet live for a while? You can make shit up, And not only Pinochet. Pinochet is only one example, and you can find it all over. And do you think that those events did not leave an imprint on the conscience of the nation? It did. They did. We forgot. Well, I don't even know what the fuck happened. Who's Pinochet? What movie he played in? Oh no. Oh yeah, is he a trans? No? Okay then. No, this is the way it goes nowadays. Anyway, I don't expect everybody to know everything, but there's some major events their countries do not forget because it affected them greatly. People died, economy died, destroyed. The nation was pushed back into the Stone Age, to put it this way. But here, we have everything we need, so we're fine. Why do we care? Oh no, what's wrong with you, man? Why do you always fight? That's how these guys, some of them, look at them. Why do they always fight? But you don't know shit. That's why they fight. You don't know shit about their fights. And besides, you may find a little bit of a blood trace coming towards Washington. You know that? Nah, you're just anti this. You don't like that. Why are you here? To make it better. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.